Hi everyone, this is our first video of the course, and here I want to talk a little bit about what it is that we teach. We all say we are teachers of English or we want to be teachers of English, but what do we mean when we say that? Do we mean that we teach a language? Yeah, but what is a language? And this is what we are going to do today. Try and discover what it is that we teach. That is why the 3 question marks. To get us started, I could go the way that many English lessons are run, where your teacher explains something to you and then you have to use it, right? So for example, I may teach you what is a simile. A simile basically is a figure of speech that involves the comparison of one thing with another thing of a different kind. And this is used to make a description more emphatic or more vivid, like, for example, as brave as a lion or crazy like a fox. Similes generally contain the word like or a comparison of equality as us or not so us. Okay, that is a simile. Then a simile is a figure of speech, but if we look at the documents that the government has issued about the learning progressions, we learn that students in secondary schools in the first 3 years of secondary school have to work at the sentence level. So what is a sentence? This is my question. A sentence could be defined like this. Now, I'm going to show you different texts. And let's see if your knowledge of a simile and your knowledge of what a sentence is enough to decode the message behind the text. Are you ready? Let's start with the first one. My question is, you know what a simile is? You know what a sentence is? So what makes this funny? Families like chocolate, mostly sweet with a few nuts. It's a beautiful sentence. I have family is the subject, is the verb, and like chocolate, mostly sweet with a few nuts is the predicate. It's also a simile because it contains the word like, and it's comparing two things which are different. But does that knowledge and make you understand why this is funny? Not really, because it's funny because we have the word nuts there. Now, I can take the word nuts and I can teach my students the word nuts, and I can tell them it's any kind of product that comes inside a case, and we have walnuts and we have all other kinds of nut, like cashew nuts, or we have almonds are a kind of nut, but that is not quite it. Because nuts in this case has a particular meaning, which means crazy, right? So does your knowledge of what a sentence is and what a simile is suffice for you to understand this? Now let's look at this other one. This is a notice in a London cab, a London taxi, right? And you will see that it's very well written. It's a beautiful sentence. And my question is, what makes this funny? The notice says, if you must insist on leaving your mobile phone, laptop, etc., top of the range, please, no outdated rubbish, thanks. Now, the purpose of this sign is to warn you not to forget the things that you're carrying with you in the taxi. Now, if it just said, don't forget to take all your belongings, I don't think it would be as effective as this. And honestly, when you sit in the cab, in the taxi, and you read this, the first thing you do is laugh, because it's top of the range means the best equipment, right? No outdated rubbish, not old cell phones or laptops, etc. And thanks. So this is, again, a use of language which is not conveyed by just looking at the grammar or looking at the vocabulary. It's the intention behind the sign. And I want you to think, as we read these signs, what else do we use to understand this? And remember, this is what we're teaching. This is an example of English. How about the following one? It says men to the left because women, and I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to pause for a second for you to think about what may come behind this little brown box. Because women are always right. This is a very simple notice, a sign, if you wish, indicating where the toilets are. But again, what makes it funny is the way in which we are using the language. Now, this was taken in 2019, right? Had I seen this notice somewhere in the 1950s, for example, it wouldn't have been funny. It would have been offensive. However, the words in 1950 and the words today are exactly the same. They haven't changed. There are other things that have changed, right? Let's look at this image. And I'm going to ask you to think for a couple of minutes about what this message, what are the messages behind this image? This is a graffiti on a London wall. And it says, you can be as naughty as you want, just don't get caught. And there's a picture. First of all, let's see if you understand what the picture is. And just cover the words and see if the picture alone makes sense. Again, this is an ironic, funny graffiti. Then cover the picture with your hand and just read the words and see if the words make sense. Not quite right? What we see here is a heavily cultural thing. The person we see there is Lady Diana. She's dressed like Mary Poppins, and the children are the two little Princess William's kids. I think it's George and Charlotte. And she's a grandmother, and she's like Mary Poppins, very nice, very sweet. But she's carrying a bag that says Harrods. And if you remember, after she divorced Prince Charles, she had a very torrid affair with the son of the owner of Harrods, Dodi Al-Fayed, and they both died together in the same car accident. And now that you have all this, she's dressed like Mary Poppins because she was always very sweet, and she was very public about her unhappiness in her marriage. But look at the sentence, you can be as naughty as you want. She's telling the future king of England and the second in the line to the throne, but just don't get caught. Again, knowing the grammar will never suffice. I'm going to ask you how to pronounce this and just do it in your head, right? This is a street sign in the city of Westminster in London, right? And it's three words, Old, Queen, and Street. Now, I can pronounce, oh, this is Old Queen Street. But what if I ask, what is the name of this street? And I get the answer, this is Old Queen Street, not Old King Street. Oh, there you use stress to make the difference, right? So we stress the content word Queen. How about now? It's not New Queen Street. So this is Old Queen Street, not New Queen Street. What? We're changing the stress pattern. Yes, we are. Because we are trying to convey a certain meaning without explaining, you got the wrong street. This is not New Queen Street. This is Old Queen Street. And how about when we use this one? This is Old Queen Street, not Old Queen Lane. Again, change in the pattern. As you can see, pronunciation makes a whole lot of a difference. But in certain contexts, the word queen and Old Queen may have other meanings. In colloquial English, an old queen is an old gay man. As you can see, then language is not so clear cut. It's not just the grammar, it's not just the pronunciation, it's not just the overall the surface meaning, but there is something behind it. We need to know more, and we need to teach. If we want to teach for communication, we need to capitalize on meaning. So all these examples I have given you so far just indicate that when we think of teaching language as just teach the theme or teach the grammar or teach the pronunciation, that doesn't work. What we teach is a living thing, and a thing which has a social purpose and a social origin. And just to leave you with something for you to think about, I'm going to play a little bit of the soundtrack from, sorry, I'm going to go quickly, for a TV show from the UK, and which is called Hold the Sunset. And it is, I don't believe it. You can say this in 100 different times, right? It may help you to look at the picture of this woman speaking on the phone. You will hear her part of the conversation. So here we go.
Oh, come on, you know he...
Tyrone, how's things? No, I was out last night. You're kidding. You are kidding. No, why would I change the numbers after all these years? Are you sure? This is not all your little jokes. How much? I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Okay. So what is it that she doesn't believe? Well, look at this. This person picks up the phone and a friend, Toro, is calling her and asks her where she was last night and if she watched the lottery. And she said, no, I was out last night. And then he tells her she's won the lottery, right? You're kidding, she responds. And he might have said, no, we won the lottery. He said, you're kidding. And then the guy said, well, you didn't change the numbers we always play, right? I said, no, why would I change the numbers after all these years? And then she asks, how much? Now, when you listen to just that part of the conversation, if you don't have all the cultural background behind, you may not have understood the whole thing. Now, I'm going to play it again for you, just to leave you with this thought. When you look at the documents you have to read, to do the forums, please think about what it is that those documents are conveying to us, what view of language. And I just leave you with this, and I wish you a wonderful module together working on this very interesting topic.
Oh, come on, you know he...
Tyrone, how's things? No, I was out last night. You're kidding. You are kidding. No, why would I change the numbers after all these years? Are you sure? This is not all your little jokes. How much? I don't believe it. I don't believe it.